Hello everyone and welcome to Aussie Stadium. The Brisbane Broncos are on their way down the chute to Aussie Stadium's green surface, as described by Andrew, the driest it's been probably all year, and led out by Darren Lockyer. The 29-year-old plays in his 27th finals match tonight. 71st time as captain of the Broncos and 13 tries against Canterbury. He has scored more against them than any other club. The Broncos are there. The grand final qualifier, game one. Webke, if beaten tonight, leads the arena of rugby league. The big fellas played 19 tests and 21 origins. 3 times successful in grand finals, as has the number 10, Sivana Siva, been a grand final winner. Lockyer, brilliant last week. Carmichael Hunt back at fullback tonight. Has there ever been a more intriguing penultimate weekend? 4 teams, 4 equal chances. Is any one of us game enough to say about one of the 4 they can't win? The Dogs are on their way. The Dogs of war. Who let the Dogs out? Well, here they come. They last won the grand final in 2004, and between them and Brisbane, they have won 40% of premiership deciders in the last 25 years. The reception for the Dogs. Titles won have been shared by the blue and white Bulldogs or the Broncos of Brisbane. Willie Mason, Peters described him as rugby league's most destructive player. And there's his partner in crime, the ogre, Shrek, Mark O'Mealy. Twice they've played Brisbane this year, twice they've gone down. 30 zip in round 23 and 25-6 Suncorp before that. Canterbury, 3 from 3 under Simpkins. Broncos have lost 2 from 2 under tonight's referee, Paul Simpkins. The match is underway, and Lockyer showed a lot of urgency to go back and ask Webke to take it back, the first play of the night. 10 metres out for the Brisbane line. O'Mealy was there to meet and greet Shane Webke in what could well be his final appearance. Brad Thorne is tackled now. Second play of the night. Sivana Siva, one of the survivors from that 1998 grand final that Peter referred to as the last grand final here at Aussie Stadium, as Perry works an angle with Thaiday. 5 of the Broncos remain from that 98 grand final. Just one of the Dogs, Corey Hughes, a little nervous juggle back there by the General Patton, and he's tackled 15 away from his own line. El Masri about to go past 300 points for the season for the second time. Should do it in this match tonight, as it comes away from Holdsworth and goes to Andrew Ryan, the leader of the Canterbury side. Now it's with Matt Utah, out towards 30 and tackled on that point. Held there by Sivana Siva and Thorne. And that ruck encounter is so important, it's vital. Asatasi catch pass O'Mealy out to the 40-metre line. Whoever wins this battle at the ruck will win the game. No matter who might have the better back line, as many people would suggest Brisbane have, you've still got to win that battle of the big men. Darius Boyd on a carry back, 30 metres out from his own line, the 19-year-old.
And Ray, you not only win that ruck area through using your physical nature, but it's a side that plays smarter with that. It's fine to hit the ball up, bashing and barging, but you've got to use the football intelligently. As Shane Webke is hit by 3 Canterbury defenders, 40 out.
Hughes, O'Mealy and Mason to name them. Then from Perry it's gone across and tackled just short of the halfway line is the second row forward, Brad Thorne. To the left now for Petro, and Sivana Siva straining every muscle to get it a further millimetre down the ground. This is big time. This will take you to the big one on Sunday night week. The bomb goes up to Patton. Patton away from his line. comes to Carroll. Carroll puts him away. Also one of those 6 players that competed in the 98 grand final. Utai is with it now. Held 15 metres away from his own line. Breeze starting to gust up significantly. Canterbury then, with the ball coming away from the play the ball and going wide to Williams. And Sonny Bill is pulled down around the legs by Perry. Berrigan up the top as Canterbury then bring the ball away outside the 40-metre line. Taken out there by Emilio in the number 3 shirt. And Ben Roberts wearing number 20. That kick down the ground stands on its point. Off his own line comes Boyd. Ring around him from the Bulldogs, led by Sherwin. Boyd easily circled him, got it out almost to 20. Pulled out over there by Emilio and Corey Hughes. And now it's for Hodges to take it out to the 30-metre line.
It's a good tactic against big forward packs. Kick early, as Brett Sherwin did there. A few of the Brisbane players slow back into place as Brad Thorne takes it close to the 40.
Berrigan to dummy half. He could turn out to be the key factor, the X factor in this game. Berrigan a dummy half. He's with the ball now. Wasn't meant to be, but is. He'll play the ball near halfway. It's a sloppy play of the ball. Lockyer had to go to dummy half. They've wasted a tackle. Quick to make the tackle was Corey Hughes. Centre of the ground. Little bit of hesitation in the Brisbane play there. Perry is asked to kick, and he kicks it down towards the southern end where it goes dead in goal.
That was good work there by the Bulldogs defence. In their last set of 6 coming out of trouble, Darren Lockyer took the option to go to dummy half and kick. This time, as soon as he went to dummy half, they raced out from marker and made sure he didn't kick at all. As a result, Perry had to do it. He's kicked it dead in goal with a misdirected one. Good work by the Bulldogs.
The Dogs just with a restart now, called back by Simpkins. 12 of their 2004 grand final side still there 2 years later in the blue and white jumper. Here's Roy Asatasi, who's made this incredible recovery, and the Canterbury bench, which was reduced to just one sole rugby league player on that bench when they got spanked 30-0 by Brisbane here back in round 23. It was a dismal night when they lost Willie Tonga and Roy Asatasi, and also young McElwain fell to the Brisbane juggernaut that night. Here's Patton going down the right side, linking up with Emilio. A handoff back to Williams. Williams didn't get to ground. He got the ball away to Sherwin. Sherwin gets it away to Mason. He puts a fend on Friday. He gets the ball away. It travelled forward, I feel. It's with Williams. It's play on. No, it's not. It's been called as such.
Yeah, good call from the touch judge there. Crowd don't like it. Really doesn't like it. And Sonny Bill has looked dangerous on a couple of carries, getting that right arm free. The ball did appear to go forward with Mason confronted by Tate and Thorne.
"14 of the Brisbane 17 tonight have played at Test or Origin level. Is it any wonder they've been called awesome? As the ball comes away to Tate, standing in close to the ruck or to the play the ball, and tackled is Darius Boyd a couple of metres onto Canterbury's side of the halfway line. Here's Carroll with the ball now. 35 out from the line. Pulled down by Ryan, together there with Holdsworth. Now to Webke, a short pass away to Sivanasiva, who crouches down, looking to get the ball back to a waiting Webke. Ball played back to Berrigan, where it goes now to Perry. He shows it to Thorne, goes to Lockyer, then it goes out and away from Carmichael Hunt. The ball is now with Justin Hodges. Hodges going through, gets the ball away, bounces for Lockyer, gets it away, knocked on Carroll. Advantage to Canterbury's Utai.
That was bad luck for the Broncos, looking very promising. Swift movement of the ball. Said we were going to get a forward battle, but the Broncos very keen to move it as soon as they get space.
Andrew Ryan then playing the ball, and it's with O'Mealy this time. And he's wrestled down by Thorne together with Carroll. Play just inside the 40. Corey Hughes getting outside. Knock on. Knock on against the Dogs. Against Andrew Ryan.
Well, he was sucked into running because there was only one marker. He probably didn't want to run. There's the Broncos moving the ball out on the edges, good hands. And Justin Hodges, that's where he likes to run, from left to right, back into the middle of the field. He can use that big right arm fend and offload with the right hand. Really had the Bulldogs defence stretched there.
In the ball.
Phil Gould and
Ben.
Peter Sterling in the commentary box with me. Ben Eichen, Matt Johns on the sideline with Andrew Voss tonight. Tomorrow, of course, we take you for the match at Telstra between St George Illawarra and Melbourne. Lockyer goes away to Perry, then runs around him, gives the ball out to Hunt. A decoy from Hodges. Carmichael Hunt is able to fend away from one, but Williams tries to pick him up and put him down heavily. Hunt wasn't submitting to that, though, as it goes to Webke. He bounces away from Mason, then he gets it away under the tackle of O'Mealy, and now Mason goes in and claims the victim, Berrigan. Berrigan 35 away from the line. To the centre of the ground they go, with Lockyer finding Brad Thorne, and Thorne tries to trample over the top of Andrew Ryan. He's pulled down by Corey Hughes. Play quickly back to Berrigan. Berrigan away to Lockyer. Oh, good tackle on Lockyer. Daniel Holdsworth. He was the front tackler. O'Mealy the second. Now, there might have been a loose hand in there, was there? It's 6 more tackles, says the referee.
Yeah, Daniel Holdsworth ruled to have played at the football deliberately.
Perry then, Sivanasiva, up the middle he goes. He goes through the tackle of O'Mealy. He's 7 metres out from the line. Tackled by Mason. It's gone wide to the left. Hodges looks at them, invites them, then challenges them. He'll play the ball 5 metres away from the Canterbury line. It goes out there to Perry, and Perry stands in the tackle. It goes back to Berrigan. Berrigan will score. The number 9 for Brisbane.
Tackle 3 there, Bill.
But Simpkins wants to look at it.
Might be an obstruction.
Well, some Canterbury players are claiming obstruction. Sean Berrigan gets out of dummy half after some great lead-up play. They got set at 6 again after Daniel Holdsworth was ruled to have touched the football. Willie Mason's not that well out there at the moment. He makes his tackle, but he is not well. Now, Brad Thorne puts the hand up, interferes with Andrew Ryan. I think they've got a good call here, the Bulldogs. I think Andrew Ryan could have made a more direct route to the ball carrier if not for Brad Thorne standing there with the arms up.
Well, his presence didn't help, did it? And the fact that he's got his hands up, that doesn't help either.
And Andrew Ryan has really helped his own cause here by making it obvious. He puts the shoulder in to Brad Thorne just to tell the video referee or the referee or whatever official that I had a shot and I couldn't get to him. You can't call play on.
Here comes the decision from the video referee. It is Bill Harrigan tonight. And he says it's a try. The man who once said to me, Ray, if it looks like a pig, it is a pig. Well, I thought that looked a little bit like a boar or a sow, but it's been given.
I don't think Ryan had a play on him. I really don't. I don't think Ryan had a real play on him. Brad Thorne can't disappear into thin air. He didn't really try to interfere. Ryan did it to himself. Sean Berrigan just a moment ago, they threw him the ball. He didn't have his mouth guard in. Well, had to put the teeth back in before he had to run.
I am surprised. Brad Thorne can't disappear, but he can't just stand there either. There's nobody in front of him. He could have kept going, and I think Andrew Ryan could have left the ground to make a tackle.
So Darren Lockyer, with no Corey Parker at the moment, converts Berrigan's try. I said he might be the X factor. 10 minutes gone, 6-0 Broncos. Matthew John sideline.
Yeah, Raps, just have a look at what they're doing with Sean Berrigan. Although he's playing hooker tonight, again, as we've seen in the finals defensively, he's playing in the centres now. It's a good ploy by Wayne Bennett. He's keeping him fresh for attack, trying to minimise his defence. If I'm Steve Folkes, I'll be getting out to Brent Sherwin and saying target him. Take the edge off him in defence and the edge off him in attack.
He's certainly wearing the right jumper, though, Matthew. The number 9 is where Berrigan does it best for Brisbane. And a big and warm welcome to all our viewers up there in Queensland through QTQ up there and up in Darwin live, Papua New Guinea. You're taking it live and right over through England and Europe, taking it on replay. Here's Brent Tate for Brisbane making this run across the 30-metre line. He's pulled down and played the ball back to Berrigan, who dummied to Sivanasiva. It went to Perry, it went to Thaiday. And Friday will play the ball. 40 metres away from Brisbane's own line, and Berrigan out from dummy half, puts in a little kick, and it aims up beautifully for Utai. Here's Matt Utai on the bring back, and he takes it to ground, 38 metres out from his own line. Tate was the tackler, together with Boyd. Now it's away for Patton. Patton off the left foot a couple of times and runs the play towards Stagg, and Stagg puts him down with the help of Friday. From the dummy half, Hughes, it's gone across to first receiver Mason. Mason with a good run. 45 metres out from the Brisbane line. 6-0 in favour of Brisbane. A try to Berrigan converted by Lockyer. Now it's from Hughes and gone out to Williams. He puts the ball down on the right side to Emilio. It might have had a little bit of a question mark on it as well. Not so, says the touch judge, on the eastern touchline. From Hughes, then to Sherwin. Sherwin across to O'Mealy, and then Asatasi in space. Asatasi gets it away to Holdsworth. They're over the Dogs. The Dogs are barking. Holdsworth, 6-4. Asatasi in space, Holdsworth in support, and it's 6-4 Broncos. Welcome back live to Aussie Stadium.
And so important to hit back after you've conceded points. And what any doubt about Roy Asatasi's gone out the window. Nice ball from Mark O'Mealy. And Daniel Holdsworth did very well. He had quick men chasing him, and he allowed himself to slide over the line, not promoting the football. Hazem El Masri's kicked 17 in a row. It's about to be 18.
El Masri gets a nice piece of it. It is 6-all. The Dogs fans are happy. 13 minutes gone. Andrew sideline.
And Ray, what about some of these crowd shots we're bringing our viewers tonight? Look at the blue and white here. I'm sure it's not worrying the Broncos players, but I almost feel sorry for them tonight. They've come down here. Home finals are meant to finish week 1 of the playoffs. Have a look what they're up against tonight. 6-all scoreline. Great start to the match.
Lockyer there, starting us again. One converted try to each of these wonderful combatants who, as I told you, have taken the lap of honour 40% of the time in the last 25 years. This is Mason out to the 30-metre line.
And that's the clever football I was talking about earlier, Ray. No bashing and barging. Mark O'Mealy went to the line, had his arms free, and put Asatasi into a gap on his outside. Clever play, maybe unexpected to some degree, as Sherwin again kicks early in the count. Boyd has lost it, out on the full.
Darius Boyd lost it, but he was quite happy to lose it because the last thing he saw was the sideline under his feet. And it's gone way out, almost into row 1 on the western side.
Now, we spoke about this before the game, the Broncos' ability to bring the ball back from kicks. Their back three are dropping back very early, and Sherwin is kicking in the early in the tackle count to force them back. Now, don't be surprised if later in the game the Bulldogs look to run the ball, fake the kick and run the ball, and see if they can't outnumber them out wide.
Sherwin's given a penalty here. Sherwin has been penalised for failing to retire. It's an old expression, which I really haven't got time to explain to you, but it's probably one that goes back many years in rugby league, but it's a simple one. He failed to retire.
Well, Darren Lockyer wanted to know from the referee, could he kick for goal, and was told it's a differential. You kick for touch.
Well, that's how old it is. Darren Lockyer, 29 years of age, hadn't even heard of it. And he debuted in 1995. He's with the ball. He goes behind Carroll. He goes to Tate. Tate goes inside the 20-metre line. He takes it up 12 metres out from the Dogs' line. Tate to play the ball. Held down for quite some time by Andrew Ryan. A very astute defender, is he not? Very cagey. And he'll suck every second he possibly can out of the allowable time. Berrigan again. Berrigan again across to Thorne. And the big man falls. 3 metres short of the line. To the southern end they go again, the Broncos. Berrigan back for Lockyer. Dummies. Goes back and around. Was there obstruction? They're going in to score. And scoring is Brent Tate. Brent Tate has scored, and again Simpkins will want to have a look at the obstruction.
It's an illegal play. There's no doubt this is an illegal play. The defence should never have to contend with a ball player running behind his decoy runner. Now they go up on the player he can pass it to, and they should not have to think that Lockie is going to run behind his back. I would say that this is an obstruction. It's a shepherd. He's run behind his own teammate. No try.
Well, if there's any consistency, it will be no try, because early this season we saw exactly the same thing. Penalised on a number of occasions, going behind, carrying the football. The Canterbury defender who's taken out by the decoy player, as Phil points out, should never have to be concerned with someone coming through at him.
It's a penalty, as forecast by Phil Gould. And he used a word there called shepherd, which is also from the draconian years, as you see the replay of the try disallowed.
That's an old... We've gone back to the old rule book tonight, Rabbits. No retiring the scrum, shepherds. They're not obstructions.
Holdsworth limping off, the try scorer for the Dogs. Matthew John sideline.
Yeah, although it's the start of the game, I'd say both sides will look very vulnerable to bodies of motion and speed around the rucks. That should be a cue for the halves and the hookers.
Corey Hughes, tackled 40 metres out from his own line. He plays the ball back, and it's come away from Roberts. Quite a surprise, really, for Stephen Folkes to start the game with Ben Roberts. He's only played 5 first-grade games.
Well, he'll go into the halves now, Ray, as Brett Sherwin finds Sonny Bill Williams, who in turns find Luke Patton. With Holdsworth off, Roberts will go closer. Rennie Mature is now at left centre.
So Emilio is the acting half, and Sherwin is with the ball, and he runs into the defence on the 30-metre line down Brisbane's end of the park, 6-all, with a try disallowed for Brisbane and a penalty.
Lost ball.
No, it's a lost ball. He had arms out, and I thought he was giving a penalty, but there goes Holdsworth up the chute.
I wonder if Daniel Holdsworth was actually injured. He was the man taken out at the other end as Brent Sherwin stepped to the side of Petro Sivanasiva. I think you'll find Holdsworth was actually the man who was impeded on the no try from Brent Tate.
So there's the scrum, won by Brisbane, and Hodges, he gets a fend on Roberts. He gets the ball away to Lockyer, and that is a close call for Canterbury. It's gone over the western touchline, but they've been cut to ribbons. Andrew sideline.
Yeah, and Lockyer just gives his outside men, Tate and Boyd, a real gobful now on Daniel Holdsworth. The problem is with his left ankle, and yes, it is in the collision that he finds himself in trouble. You've got to say his body language coming off looked terrible. He looked a forlorn chance of returning. Obviously, they'll put a painkiller into the ankle. He's with Dr. Hugh Hazard, the Bulldogs medico, right now in the dressing room.
Here's Roberts with the ball for the Bulldogs, wearing black armbands as a mark of respect for their longest serving sponsor, Peter Warren, from the Peter Warren Motor Group, who passed away just a week ago. A great supporter of the Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs was Peter Warren, and they're wearing those black armbands as a mark of respect for him tonight. As the ball goes away for Sherwin, he turns it back inside neatly for O'Mealy, and then looks back. O'Mealy to find Sherwin, waiting obediently, and the ball goes away to Matua. And he's tackled 12 metres out from the Broncos line. So Canterbury get a very good opportunity. Sherwin puts in a neat kick. The bounce, oh gee! That's well done by Brisbane, just to clean it up. It was an awful thing, young Perry, the number 7.
Good work here by Brent Sherwin. He got the call from his teammates back at the post to put the grubber kick through. Perry dropped back, knocks it dead and diffuses it. But I think this is where the Bulldogs will have to come up with their points, either trying to go through the Broncos as they did with O'Mealy and Azatazi, or the kick from this man, Brent Sherwin. At the moment, I think the Broncos have got him superiority for pace out wide. Every time the Bulldogs throw it wide, they never look like getting around them.
So there's the kick by Lockyer. What a drop kick. It's gone 60 metres to be taken on the Canterbury 40-metre line.
Everyone that he's kicked in the last 6 weeks, Ray, have had an extra 10 or 15 metres on them. I don't know if he's done some work on it, but he's hitting them sweetly.
This is O'Mealy now. Lockyer, the man we're talking about. And now it's gone to the right side for Sherwin to dummy and looks for Williams. And Sonny Williams is pulled down 15 out from the line.
That's the run I'm talking about, hard and straight.
Here's Sherwin, second man play, back to O'Mealy. Out they come now to Roberts, and Roberts jinks and goes off his left foot. Looks around for support. Ryan was there. He plays the ball 10 metres out from the line. Here's Luke Patton. Ball away to Mason. Rolls it along the ground. They're over. Sherwin. Did the ball go forward? Simpkins goes up to the video referee again.
Well, Mason has tried to pass this. We cannot rule on a forward pass upstairs. So does he have control of the football when it is released from his grip? I think he's desperately trying to pass the football.
No risk.
So he can't have a forward pass ruled against him.
He can throw it 20 yards forward if the referee doesn't want to pick it up. But they cannot rule that a knock on. They cannot rule it a knock on. And he cannot rule it a forward pass. He passed it, he didn't knock it on. Video referee cannot rule a forward pass. I think it's gone backwards anyway.
I do too.
Off the hands, there's a very good chance it has gone backwards.
And he's done a wonderful effort to get around and position it so it could go backwards. Yeah, that's gone back off
No,
the hands.
it's left the hands and gone backwards, Peter.
And Brent Sherwin picks up.
And I was going to say, really, Paul Simpkins positioned himself well, and he needed the touch judge to give him a ruling on forward pass, but it's gone backwards off the fingertips, it would seem, and Canterbury will be the recipient of another 4 points plus 2. Billy Harrigan sees it that way. It's a green light. It's 10-6. It'll soon be 12.
Dogs with a conversion attempt in front as we welcome you back to Aussie Stadium. Hazem El Masri extends the lead from 4 to 6 after Brent Sherwin took advantage of Willie Mason offlane. Ben Ikin sideline.
Boys, I'm fearing for the Broncos a bit at the moment. It was almost like in the first 15 minutes, the Doggies were getting rid of some of those cobwebs. They made some real uncharacteristic mistakes, but I think if they continue to build pressure, there's plenty of points in this Doggies outfit.
Well, the Broncos certainly went for them early. There was a lot of ball movement, and it really snapped the energy of the Bulldogs. Like I just said there, if they run hard and straight, the Dogs, just run in numbers, they're really causing the Broncos some problems.
Did well to avoid a mistake there. Luke Patton almost coming out with a knock on. Ben Roberts takes it just short of the 10. Important set of 6 now as they go for the penalty up the short side. That'll be Utah.
So Hughes out from dummy half, straight ahead. Shortest way to go to the 30-metre line for Ryan to give it away for Nate Miles, who coach Stephen Folkes opted to leave on the bench for the opening exchanges. Here's O'Mealy requiring some urgency there from Thorne and Carroll. Back now to the short side for Roberts, and he's found himself in a very, very hot seat. A bloke with 5 games under his belt. Here's Carmichael Hunt, just absolutely bashed into the ground by the Dogs.
It's a very despondent looking Daniel Holsworth. That would indicate he won't be back. But it is a luxury to have Rennie Matua coming off the bench. Interchange player who can play back row or any position in the back line as Tate. Backslam 30 out.
Andrew Ryan has really lifted his intensity, if that's possible, because he's a passionate defender. He was just responsible for a couple of driving tackles, and now Brisbane make a mistake. Andrew sideline.
Well, let's just temper the news for the Bulldogs right now. The word we're getting, and these shots are not good for Daniel Holdsworth, is that he won't be back. They're saying hyperextension of the ankle, and when that happens, you suspect there could even be some ligament damage. I mean, that's a very early diagnosis, but Daniel Holdsworth looks like he won't be back tonight, which is a little bit shades of round 24, where the Bulldogs were down so many troops.
And quite ironic that he's one of 3 players out there for the Dogs who hasn't missed a game this season.
Here's Emilio now. 35 metres away from the Broncos line. Short side play for Williams again. Sherwin and Williams peppering away down that side, and Williams is up and away again.
What a player. What a player.
Hughes, Sherwin, inside ball for Mason. You've just finished dealing with Williams, and now you're dealing with the big bloke on the broad of his back, Willie Mason. Hughes from dummy half. Second man, Sherwin. Ball bounces, knocked on by Patton, was it? No, Simpkins said play on. And Patton tries to go back and around the Broncos. He'll play it back to El Masri. O'Mealy wants a run. He's taken it to within 10 metres of the line for Emilio. Emilio is 5 metres out from the line. El Masri appeals for a penalty. It is forthcoming to the Dogs.
Well, that's deadly when you've got Hazem El Masri in the opposition team. For some teams, it might be a 50-50 decision whether or not you'll take the 2 points. Andrew Ryan's got the luxury of saying to Hazem, we'll take 2, thank you very kindly.
Might be a sign too of how Brisbane are struggling. That was the last tackle, and it is a cardinal sin to give one away on the last. Just watch the line Sonny Bill Williams runs tonight. He'll come back, and then he'll go away, or he'll start going out and head back in. And he doesn't look as though he's doing it with any great effort, but his line running to put himself in the best position is superb. And at the end of it, he's always got that right arm free. Now this is Brisbane, late in the tackle count, last tackle. Sean Berrigan, who made a mistake at dummy half in trying to pass the ball, now makes a mistake at marker and gives away the penalty.
And what this man, Sonny Bill Williams, has done, he's targeting Sean Berrigan. You heard Matty John say that Berrigan's playing hooker but defending out wide. Well, you can't hide your smallest bloke from the biggest bloke in the opposition. And Sonny Bill's hunting him down like a bloodhound.
El Masri then for his 3rd goal of the game. This will be 20 straight. As El Masri bangs it through the big tall timbers. Matthew John sideline.
Yeah, just on the Sean Berrigan situation, what Gus was talking about. Wayne Bennett playing him in the centres. Look, if I'm Wayne, I'd think about putting him back around the marker area, around the rucks, because at the moment, Sonny Bill Williams, it is such a big mismatch, and they've worked on it too. It's part of their game plan. Good coaching, Stu Folks.
Williams creating havoc down that right side. So the kick-off again, and Brisbane down 14-6. A team that has been so protective of their score on the scoreboard in recent times, and down by 8 points now.
Corey.
And it's a penalty against Brisbane.
Out of it.
Corey Parker penalised.
It's a sign of frustration. It's a sign of urgency, trying to stop the go forward from the opposition, cheating inside the 10. These are things that the Broncos have got to temper as they try to chase the points.
Canterbury then taking this tap right on the halfway line.
Surrender.
This is Ryan underneath there in a surrender tackle, which allows the defence to operate a little bit longer. Now Utai is put down just inside the 30-metre line. 3 changes for the Dogs and 3 changes for the Broncos. As Sherwin goes out to Patton, he floated into the back line. Williams was outside him. A hand down to Emilio. Emilio now is 15 away from the line. Carlo out there in 15 for the Broncos. Hughes, a couple of paces, then Mason, then Sherwin. Sherwin is with the ball. He gives it up then to Robertson. Roberts is able to beat one, but he's pulled down eventually by Lockyer. But it's still Canterbury attacking, and they're deep inside the territory. Here comes Utai, and the little fella, the pocket rocket. He's gone over to score. An unchallenged try from the referee.
Well, we spoke of mismatch only moments ago. Just about anybody close to the line against Matt Utai is a mismatch. This time, the unfortunate victim was Darius Boyd, a youngster who's got a long career in front. But that must have been an awesome task. Well constructed again, especially the previous play, the second man from Willie Mason. This time the cutout pass, only 2 metres off his own line. And Matt Utai has run over bigger men than Darius Boyd from that distance out from the try line. He's been really good tonight again, Brett Sherwin. He had to put good performances back to back. He was man of the match against the Raiders. He's done very well in the opening 25 tonight.
So El Masri will attempt conversion of the try scored by the number 5, Matt Utai. 18 points to 6. 2 converted try margin. El Masri can take them out of that danger zone with a conversion here. He needs 12 points, has him, to reach 300 in a season for the second time. And if he does that tonight, he will become the first player to achieve this. The blue and white bunting, the blue and white army. They're loving it. They're not home, though, not by a long, long way yet. Even if he does nail this, and I think that he will, from the tee bar.
Oh no, Ravs, what have you done?
He's kicking into a gale in that corner. Look at the flags on top of the grandstand over there.
This is 21.
He's got to hook this into the breeze.
21 consecutively. Have faith, my boys. Have faith. It's on its way. It's on its way. What are you worried about? What are you worrying about, Mr. Gould?
He hooked it back into the breeze. This man, Brent Sherwin, at the end of the 26 rounds premiership proper, I said the Bulldogs are in second place, and this bloke hasn't got a rap yet because he really hadn't done much. He'd flown in under the radar. And we said if he has a good month in September, the Dogs can win the comp. Well, tonight he's on fire.
20 points to 6 the score. 3 tries, 4 goals.
A mistake there from Luke Patton, but it's gone backwards, and all I can say is Hazem El Masri must have the best temperament and be the most unflappable goal kicker the game has seen.
He can't hear rabbits from down there.
Chris Ahmed is into the game for the Dogs. He played that football most recently. And Adam Perry is also in the game now in jumper number 15. And there goes Matua speeding across the ground out to the 40-metre line. Stephen Folkes, when they lost the grand final in '98 to Brisbane on this very ground, was in his first year as coach, and they've kicked it down, and it's landed in the field of play and crossed the line.
Well, if it has crossed the line, it's a 40-20 because Ben Roberts was just inside his own 40, and that's the way that the referee has ruled.
What a kick.
Darius Boyd must not have known where the kick left the boot, but Ben Roberts is marginally inside the 40. Give him half a metre. Well done.
And that's the sort of skill he brings to the side. He's played a lot of half and 5'8". Raise the eyebrows, he's in the centres, but he's really a talent, and he's brought some skill to this side already. Couple of good kicks. Don't tell me they're going to try and work out whether it's gone inside the 20. That's been decided by the touch judge.
Oh, there's no post there. It's all right.
Oh, go away, Billy. Billy, go away. Just rule a 40-20 and get on with it.
Okay, mate. 40-20. Hold it, hold it. Don't hold the ball. Ball in.
So Canterbury with the back of the scrum play from Sonny Bill Williams. 10 metres away from the Brisbane line. Matua fending away from Brent Tate's tackle, running into Carlo and also Carroll. And Rennie Matua to play the ball back to Perry. To the right they go, behind Miles. It's picked up by Roberts. West Tigers Jr., who came from the Narellan Jets in that very good fleet side a few years ago. Now it's gone to the right for Sherwin, and he goes back again for Williams. Out to Luke Patton, intercepted over there by Brisbane. And let me tell you, it had to be by Hodges.
Yeah, rush of blood. Rush of blood, no need for the last pass. They're on a roll, but you don't want to hand the momentum back with rushes of blood. Now a penalty exaggerates the situation. See, those sort of things can change momentum on you. A loose pass and then give away a penalty, and the opposition feel good about themselves again.
And the man to race up after that was awarded, as we see Luke Patton throwing the intercept, was Carmichael Hunt, the young Kiwi international, raced up, trying to gee his teammates up. Let's go, fellas. That's a good call our way. 10 out from half-time. We need something to work.
Now hold.
Broncos desperate for points before half-time. Webke operating behind the line, passing well before the defence line. Tackled is Carlaw, 8 metres short of halfway. Berrigan waiting, Canterbury hanging around in the play of the ball. Hanging on to the man trying to play the ball, another penalty. So it's a piggyback for Brisbane.
Yeah, it's mistake, penalty, penalty. Now they're going to have sets of 6 right down in the opposition 20. And they need a try. They need some incentive now, the Broncos. They've been handed an opportunity by the Dogs.
Berrigan taking the tap and Webke taking the first and bumping away from Williams. He runs away from Emilio, who comes again. And together they combine to put him down. With the number 10 also getting involved, Chris Armott, or Nate Miles it is, has come from Berrigan and gone to Lockyer. Lockyer lets one go. Carroll goes to Hunt. Now it's gone out to Tate, and Tate is tackled 9 metres out from the line. Carmichael Hunt waiting at acting half as he goes to the left to Lockyer. Lockyer goes wide to the middle of the ground for Parker. Parker stands in the tackle, gets it to Perry. Perry gets it back to Hodges. Hodges running almost into Carlaw and is tackled 9 metres out from the Canterbury line. Berrigan then. Berrigan, who got himself a try early in the game. Then to Perry, now to Lockyer. Behind Carroll, knocked on! Knocked on by Brisbane's Tate.
And not for the first time. Knocked on by Tate from the long Lockyer pass. I'm not quite sure whether these second man and cut-out plays are causing too much of a problem for the Dogs at the moment, who are reading it well. Pensive in the crowd. Sivanasiva just having a word to his teammates, but that was a golden opportunity missed.
Well, the Dogs are mixing their defence up. Usually they come up hard, up and in, and they're the sorts of plays the Broncos are practiced to combat it. But the Bulldogs are actually hanging back a little bit, letting them roll through their plays, and the Broncos haven't worked out what to do about it.
See, I think you can do that, Gus, when the play is happening so far away from you, so far in behind the first attacking line.
Well, I think the Broncos have got deep, expecting the Bulldogs to rush up. The Bulldogs have just outfoxed them here.
So Perry is tackled by Lockyer, brings a groan from the crowd. They were looking for a penalty, and now they get the penalty. Not for that incident, but for the one immediately thereafter. Ben Aiken sideline.
Boys, I just want you to watch this kid, Ben Roberts, go. He's defending in the centres at the moment, but he's attacking at 5'8". He's got absolutely fantastic footwork. If these big Brisbane forwards start to tire, he could be the guy that starts to slice them up the middle.
The Canterbury penalty will see the free kick taken by Perry just beyond the Brisbane 30-metre line. It travels over through the hands of Sherwin to Mason and back to Patton. Patton goes inside the 30-metre line. He beats another. He's tackled and held by Berrigan. Played for Williams to come to the left for Mason. Mason takes them on, challenges the line. 12 metres out from the Brisbane try line. Perry. Armott gives him a decoy. Roberts is hammered by Carroll. Good tackle, Tony Carroll, on Roberts, the youngster that Ben was just talking about. Ryan, now it's with Nate Miles, and he's held by Stagg low and Webke up the top. But there's the try line. It's only about 5 metres away, and they go back to Sherwin. He puts a kick in. Hodges slipped over. It's gone over the dead ball line, off Brisbane. So it's another line dropout.
That's why he's nicknamed Shifty. That's a clever kick. And Justin Hodges did very well to get back and deny Hazem El Masri. The big hand, pushing it dead. This is how Brent Sherwin tormented Canberra 2 weeks ago. And he's having similar success tonight. Slow restart, no surprise from the Broncos. They can't wait for halftime.
Now for the Lockyer drop kick, and here it comes again with plenty of territory, again at 60 metres. And Luke Patton gets underneath it and sends Chris Armott back towards Shane Webke and Tony Carroll. 40 metres out from the Brisbane line. Half-time, 3.5 minutes away, and at the moment it's all Canterbury. Andrew Ryan. 35 metres out from the Brisbane line. From Perry, a dummy half to Roberts, an inside ball for Nate Miles. And Miles is taken down by Sivanasiva. Brisbane breaking their finals losing streak last week, but now they're in trouble as Williams is able to get it back in. It's 6 more tackles, and it's with the halfback. No, it's with El Masri now. El Masri comes swerving back along the 20-metre line.
He didn't have any choice there, Justin Hodges. They'd established an overlap. He knocked the football down, but it continues to come at them through Armott.
He will play the ball in middle ground, 9 metres away from the line. Wonderful chance again for Canterbury. Here's Perry. Out from dummy half, Mason riding the Bronco, and then pulled down eventually 7 metres from the line. Perry again waiting. Goes back deep for Sherwin. Sherwin looking back into the middle of the ruck to put the ball with Patton. Patton beats one, then dummies to Williams, but he's taken down out there by Berrigan. 10 metres away from the Brisbane line. Here's Williams. He's going to take them on down the short side. And he's told to play the ball 2 metres out from the corner post. Perry, the chunky acting halfback. It's gone through from Sherwin, long out to Roberts, and then inside to Matua, back to El Masri, back now to Roberts. Roberts stands, gets it to Sherwin, ball goes to ground, bounces 4 times. Picked up now by Miles. Nate Miles goes up the middle. He's pulled down 18 metres away. 5 tackles gone for Canterbury. Sherwin is with the ball, runners everywhere. Ryan has made a meal of it. And it's come down to Brisbane. And Tate it is, who tries to make a little bit of hay while the sun shines. And he's pulled down 22 metres away from his own line.
They are exhausted, Brisbane. If Brent Sherwin could have got the football into the in-goal area, they would have been a huge chance of scoring. Brisbane are out on their feet, struggling to get into a position to take the football out of their own end. They're in the bunch.
Justin Hodges with the ball. Matthew John sideline.
Yeah, I get the feeling, Rabs, that big win against the Knights last week have done Brisbane no favours. In the second half against Newcastle, they played a lot of frivolous sideline to sideline football. They're going to find their focus, but remember, they do have Darren Lockyer. Remember the Origin 3 this year, boys.
Lockyer taking the penalty and picking up about 35 metres for Brisbane. Tap taken, Sidman Receiver ahead, Webke decoy, Perry passes, Lockyer comes back, Perry waits to support, then gives the ball away to Carmichael Hunt. Everywhere he looks, though, it's a sea of blue and white, and Hunt is tackled 35 metres away from the Canterbury line. Can they pick up some points in the last 45 seconds of the first half? Hodges dealt a savage blow by Mason. Mason and Perry hitting him hard. Now it's come over to Lockyer and he gets it back. Oh, Berrigan. Berrigan is hammered by Mason. Talk about shooting a man in the back. That's what Willie just did. Here's Hodges rolling the ball into the in goal, and Utah runs it dead with 20 seconds to go to the break.
Well, Willie Mason just unleashed a couple. The head rocks, the whole body rocked of Sean Berrigan. Blindsided.
Poor old Berrigan, he's had his back turned. He's only as big as a Grand National jockey. And Mason has hammered him like Hercules. So 20 points to 6 is the half-time score. As Brisbane playing catch-up football at the moment, head back out, trailing by 20 points to 6. Canterbury aiming at winning their 5th finals match consecutively, something the club has never been able to do. A tall order then for Darren Lockyer and his troops. And I remind you, if they are beaten, of course, this will be the final appearance of the great Shane Webke. Massive hurdle in front of them. Canterbury doing it with apparent ease. Telecast coming to you live out of Sydney. And again, tomorrow night we'll do the same, but this time, tomorrow night, we'll be at the Olympic Stadium, Telstra at Homebush.
Canterbury have only lost 1 game this season when they've led at half-time. That was to Melbourne in round 16, but there's no doubt Brisbane will have learned a lot in that first 40 minutes. Wayne Bennett will definitely have changed a couple of little things. He'll have assessed the situation, the defensive formation of the Dogs as they make their way back out onto Aussie Stadium, where they do enjoy a very good record. And it is a sea of blue and white here. That's a very happy crowd at the moment, which is fairly obvious.
Well, Canterbury's record here in recent times is good. Not so for Brisbane. They've won only 5 of their last 10 games at Aussie. So the Brisbane unit is ready. They run from right to left in the second half. Is it to be their final 40 minutes of football for 2006?
What?
Chris Arnott, 15 metres away from his own line. In jumper number 16 is Arnott to the 20-metre line. Then on the second tackle of the second half. Ball played back there by Nate Miles, and it's away to Mason. And Mason has his legs taken from underneath him by the diminutive Shane Perry. Talking of Perry, here's another one of them. His name is Adam, and he does a fine job. But Hooker deputising when he does come on for Corey Hughes, who I guess is regarded as the number 9 in the club these days. Here is Sherwin, who had a brilliant first half, and he drives it down the corridor on the right of the ground. That's the western side, and Hodges goes back with the ball. Hodges has dropped back to fullback by the looks of things, Pete.
He has indeed, and Carmichael Hunt has gone onto the left wing. He's now a dummy half. So that's one change we've seen. Hunt does very well to pick up 10 metres on the second tackle of this first half.
David Stagg is the dummy half. We haven't seen a lot of him tonight. Most of his work has been defensively. 32 metres away from their own line, Brisbane. Down by 14 points as Berrigan offloads a short ball for Sivanasiva, and he's 8 metres short of halfway. Fourth tackle down, Sivanasiva with both knees, the right knee particularly heavily strapped. Here's Carroll, who pulled off a couple of typical Tony Carroll crunching tackles in that first half. The ball goes from Perry's right foot and sails down into the arms of El Masri. Has it. Looking for 300 points here in this game tonight. He's got 8 of them so far. 12 metres out from his own line, where he was met down there by Corey Parker and Dane Carlaw. This is Emilio with the ball.
He must do better than that, Shane Perry. You just can't kick the football down to the winger on the full, despite the fact the chase was good. No pressure at all, and Hazem El Masri, he just ate that up and will continue to do so.
Played there by El Masri, picked up by Perry, and a short ball away for Utai, coming on the run, and he got the ball exactly when he wanted to get it. He got it out to the 40-metre line. Nate Miles up to halfway, and he's picked up and driven by Carroll and Sivanasiva, heavily dumped down. Then to Sherwin, it ricocheted off the back of Stagg. Andrew Ryan had a play at it. The ball comes down to Brisbane, play on. Ben Aiken, sideline.
Message to Broncos fans, do not despair. There are plenty of great players in this Brisbane side who will not give in. They will fight tooth and nail for the full 80 minutes.
Ben Aiken on the sideline tonight with Matthew Johns. And it is played there by Brent Tate near the halfway line. That is Hodges with a run, taking it 8 metres into Canterbury's area. In fact, is Hodges, yes, playing the ball. I thought for a moment it was Hunt. Then it's gone across from Lockyer to Webke, and Webke is put away. Webke held by Perry, then brushes him away and gets the ball away to Lockyer, who shapes to kick and then has to step and steps again and steps again. Gets the ball back to Carlaw. Very, very quick reaction from Darren Lockyer, but it hasn't paid off. Eventually, Canterbury come in and consume them, with Sean Berrigan being tackled on the final tackle.
Well, the best part of that Bulldogs defence was that every defender stayed alive. Just because it was fifth tackle, someone went up to pressure Lockyer, made him run, but everyone else stayed alive and did their job.
So Luke Patton plays the ball just inside his 40-metre line. El Masri is met again by an enthusiastic Brisbane defence. There doesn't appear to be anything lacking in that department of their game, not in the early minutes of the second half anyway. Chris Ahmed will play it, 8 metres short of halfway, tackled by Carroll. Perry's gone away to Ryan. Ryan gets a couple of metres on Brisbane side of halfway. Canterbury player down in back play is Ahmed. He's not well. Sherwin puts in a kick, down into the corner, down into the in goal. Hodges has got a bit of room to work in. Here comes the defence, led by Sherwin, beats him, beats Ryan, goes inside Roberts, goes outside another, takes it outside the 30, gets the ball away. Here's Berrigan. Berrigan sprinting down. He's still 20 metres away. Berrigan's going for the corner. Berrigan, he's over. This has been a miraculous play. I can't believe it.
Promoted, Bill.
Has he got the ball down? What about Hodges?
What about Mason? He's back there making the try-saving tackle or attempt. Hodges, fantastic. Sean Berrigan, he's played plenty of football in the centres. He's got speed. He got rid of, I think, was it Matt Utai coming across, and then Willie Mason. Oh, great work, Berrigan. He's kept the arm up. That is a try. What a great effort from the number 9.
That is superhuman from Berrigan. That is stupendous, Peter. What this little bloke has done has been absolutely astonishing.
Well, there are just some vintage pieces of play in there. Hodges, Berrigan, Mason, they've all contributed to a wonderful passage. In the end, it will be a try to the number 9. Brisbane score first, second half, which they had to. And they'll have a conversion to get a little bit closer from the sideline.
So again, Harrigan to make the decision. And it's a try at Aussie Stadium to Brisbane.
The second try scored tonight by number 9 for the Brisbane Broncos, Sean Berrigan. Starting with Justin Hodges in the in-goal area. Sean Berrigan in space, Matthew Newton came in. Now Masbury and Mason in pursuit, and he gets the football out.
Back live at Aussie Stadium, waiting for the kick at goal to convert the second try of the night for Brisbane and for Sean Berrigan. A 100-metre try, started by Hodges and finished by Berrigan.
Career best last week for Corey Parker, 8 from 8. This is his first tonight.
Hits it well. I liked it, it's there. Parker converts. Matthew Johns.
Well, game on, and a great tactical move at halftime by Wayne Bennett. Carmichael Hunt to the wing, Justin Hodges to fullback, and have a look at the footwork at Hodges. He's been the most dangerous Bronco all night as he slices through the kick chase from the Bulldogs. And tell you what, that is a big warning to the Bulldogs forwards, Justin Hodges.
Look, it's great work, great attacking work as Shane Webke brings it back from both Hodges and Berrigan. I would like to point out in defence, Willie Mason chased from his own 20-metre line and made a tackle 2 out from his own at the other end of the field.
Sivanasiva with the ball now. What a moment in the finals we have just witnessed, and Peter, quite rightly, has remembered that this is a game of both defence and offence. Here's Carroll offloading for Parker, and Parker had Armand up in his face. He got away from him, but he's pulled down and tackled a metre into Canterbury's territory. Hodges, Berrigan, attack, brilliant. And then the run by Mason to try and save it. It's with Hodges now.
This is better, turning the ball up the middle, making the big forwards work.
Lockyer putting the kick down, but Patton only had to move a couple of paces. He comes to Perry, runs over the top of him. He's pulled down from behind by Tony Carroll, who, even though he's getting on in years, certainly played with plenty of spring in the step here tonight. He's hit a couple of blokes and they'll be remembering it for quite some time. This ball is loose from Canterbury. It's getting a little bit untidy. They lose the ball. It's picked up by Parker. Parker's looking for somebody to help him. Nobody's there. Parker to play the ball. 5 metres away from the line. Stagg onto Berrigan. Not Berrigan, but Perry. Perry steps 3 metres from the line. Berrigan to dummy half. Now Berrigan goes to the middle. Now it's gone to Lockyer. Now it's gone to Carroll. Carroll will play the ball. Plays it close to the line. Berrigan to Lockyer. Lockyer to Tate. He juggles it and gets it back in. Third tackle only. Lockyer back for Carroll. Carroll then for Sivanasiva, trying to drag some defenders up to him. The ball goes from Perry, goes across to big Carlaw. Carlaw gets over the line. Carlaw's in. Carlaw scores for Brisbane. It's 20 points to 16. Welcome back live to Aussie Stadium, which is a den of excitement at the moment. Euphoria for the Brisbane fans. 2 tries almost back to back. This one off a Canterbury mistake.
Well, Matty Johnson's mentioned State of Origin number 3. That looked like it all over again. I thought Corey Parker should have just pinned the ears back. But in the same set of 6, keeping the football alive, Dane Carlaw does a great job here. They've got him covered. 3 Bulldog defenders, but he swivels around and gets the ball back on the inside. Sometimes half-time can be the best thing to happen to a football team or the worst. It's been the worst for the blue and whites, the best for the visitors.
Corey Parker with the attempt to convert, to bring it back to a 2-point ball game.
Well, he knows this kick.
He does know this kick. You're absolutely right. 8 from 8 last week. 25 out, 2 meters in from touch. There it goes. I like it. He's got it again. Oh, yes. Parker nails another one.
Brilliant stuff. And if you think you've seen that Sean Berrigan try before, this is round 24. Broncos versus Bulldogs at Telstra. Hodges up the middle of the field past tired forwards. Who looms up? Berrigan takes it all the way. We saw it again tonight at Aussie Stadium. And that was the catalyst for a 30-0 thumping from the Broncos over the Bulldogs. They've started the second half on fire. The Bulldogs haven't come out of the blocks at all. It's game on, baby.
And if Darren Lockyer had let that go...
It's out on the full.
On the full penalty halfway.
Yes, you're absolutely right. But then again, I suppose he didn't have time.
No, he didn't know where he was. You're right, Ray.
As Big Jack Gibson would say, the great coach, he didn't have time for a committee meeting. But he should have at least known where he was standing when the kick was taken. Even the great Lockyer can make mistakes then. Tate will play the ball, centre ground, 30 metres out from his own line, and this is Boyd with the ball.
I'll tell you, the 2-week break is really starting to tell on the Dogs now. They are out on their feet, mentally and physically. Can you be out on your feet mentally? They are.
This is going over the dead ball line. Off the boot of Lockyer, so it'll come to the 20 for the restart.
Well, this is an illustration of why you should start at the dead ball line and come in to take the football. That way you know exactly where you are, and Darren Lockyer, he'd have just stood there and allowed the ball to come to him. Mark O'Malley works it out from his own line, goes sideways, picks up 4 or 5.
Picked up one-handed by Roberts, and Roberts picked up one-handed by Carroll and driven. Ryan comes beyond the 30-metre line.
Look at this Bronco defensive line now. They've got their front leg up. They're leaning forward. They're sprinting off the line. They just want to get at these Bulldogs players.
O'Malley to the 40-metre line. Held down by Parker and Carlo. Now it's come away for Roy Asatasi, who cracked the Brisbane side open for a memorable try for young Holdsworth, who's left us injured for the night. Corey Hughes back into the game. That'll go dead. Andrew Voss down on the sideline.
Yeah, Rain, another positive for the Broncos is on the bench. They're only about to make their 5th change for the evening with Thorne coming on. Just like last week, 2 fresh troops on the bench. Ben Hennett, Casey Maguire haven't seen any football tonight. The other big positive, Corey Parker's goal kicking took the stuffing out of the fans here, the Bulldog supporters. In fact, I've renamed him Corey L. Parker.
So it's with Hunt, who goes dancing across the 30-metre line, linking up with Boyd, and Boyd stands in O'Malley's tackle, gave it to Lockyer, a groan for a forward pass. It was an appeal from the fans, and there's Thorne. Thorne pulled down on the 40-metre line, tackled by Emilio. Stagg goes running towards the centre of the ground. He's about 5 metres short of halfway. 20 points to 18 then, the score in favour of the Sydney side over Brisbane. Berrigan gets it away. Parker is with it. Has to bat the ball down. Lockyer floats it over to Thaiday. Thaiday down, up again. 38 metres out from the Bulldogs line. And it's played there by Thaiday. Hunt gets it away. Lockyer gives it in. Perry gives it back, and it bounces. And it's on the ground, picked up by Tate.
Lay down, 5.
That was a tackle that had to be made over there by Rennie Matua. Had Tate been able to get it away, there was nothing but clear pasture in front of Darius Boyd, marked on the full 20-metre restart Canterbury.
He actually did well, Matua, not to play at the ball and give them another 6 tackles, because it was up for grabs. Would have been easy to throw a hand out and touch it. So, look at O'Malley's run there. He walked up to the line there. Good play by Matua.
So Hughes goes to the left this time for Mason. The big fella comes out to the 30-metre line. They're not running with the confidence they were when we ended that first 40 minutes. Asatasi tries to change all of that. Brisbane, there's ice there on the ankle of young Holdsworth. Brisbane have answered the call of Wayne Bennett. They've come from a mile behind, and they're now 2 points away from Canterbury.
Thank you, Wayne Bennett. He did say before the game he felt a couple of the Bulldogs might be underdone. Well, that will be put to the test as Brent Sherwin goes very high to Hodges. Takes it well.
Hodges does the best thing he can do. He surrenders and submits. Just back into the field of play. A couple of blades of grass. Darius Boyd tries to duck under. He did. He eventually got away from Willie Mason. It was left to O'Mealy to make the tackle. Here's Carmichael Hunt running at Corey Hughes and Emilio. And so it's Brisbane inside their 20-metre line. Down by 2. 20 points to 18. Thaiday is with the ball. 20 points to 6 at the break. And Brisbane with 2 converted tries, 2 brilliant conversions. And the first try was an absolute snorter. 100 metres of it. As Lockyer gets a kick in hurriedly. Down it comes to Patton. Patton then from the 40-metre line, his own end, it goes around Carroll. And coming across to make the tackle, Sivanasiva. Travelled a fair way to make the tackle to the big fellow. Here's Ryan now, 40 metres off the Brisbane line. Playing it back to Ben Roberts. Rennie Matura's with the ball. He comes around and runs along the 40-metre line, not really threatening Brisbane. Corey Hughes is going to do that, though. It's gone away to Ryan, and Ryan is away from one attempted tackle from Brent Tate. The ball has gone back for Roy Asatasi, and he looks to unload but can't. The ball tied to the midriff in the tackle. Played back for Hughes. Hughes to Sherwin. Sherwin then for Mason. Mason to Williams, and Williams, he gets rid of one, and then he looks up and says, where can I go now? And he heads it down to the 10, gets the ball away to El Masri. And he's tackled by Stagg.
How good's that?
He stayed down, Sonny Bill.
So it's away to O'Mealy. A chance here for the Dogs, and an attempted kick. And
over here.
Simpkins ruling turnover. Andrew Ryan trying to put a little kick on. Williams is okay, I think.
Oh, there was a hit over the top there from Petro Sivanasiva. No wonder Williams stayed down. You just get the feeling the Broncos are going to have to make a mistake to lose this. The Bulldogs are struggling. They look a little bit of a rabble. Now a penalty to the Broncos will bring them closer. And you really get the feeling, even though they're behind on the scoreboard, if they handle it well, they can win. If they don't make mistakes, they'll win.
Sonny Bill in the chin. The video referee's on.
Oh,
Hit him in the chin. It's on report, okay?
Yeah.
Won't go back and penalise
No,
that.
can't now. Did you see Sonny Bill Williams get rid of Sean Berrigan? He threw him 15 metres forward. And that's the report.
We're talking about not making mistakes. The Broncos have completed all of their 9 sets of 6 in the second half. They're 9 out of 9 with ball control. They keep that up, they'll win the game.
That's what?
I think they completed at 89% last weekend. Here they are with the ball, and Ben Hannett is out there. Perry's gone to Sivanasiva, who's on report for the high shot on Sonny Bill Williams. I must admit it was higher than I thought, but it's certainly taken him across the chin. Now it's gone from Berrigan to Hannant, and Hannant is tackled 20 metres away from the line. Played back for Hodges to go to Perry, the halfback, and he dummies to his captain and tries to have a go. And Perry is about 4 metres. Now he's 7 metres out from the line. To play the ball back to Thaiday. Thaiday over to Lockyer. Lockyer lets Hannant run a decoy. It bounces and knocked on by Tate. My goodness, he's had some troubles with his hands tonight.
But it's the wrong play. I keep saying it's the wrong play. The long passes out there really aren't finding the mark tonight. Bad luck for Brent Tate. It was an ugly one to take. But they're the sort of things. Now look at Andrew Ryan say, lift, boys, lift. We've got the mistake we wanted. And that's what the Bulldogs are relying on. The Broncos actually self-destructing.
Willie Mason, he was looking to leave the field, but you can't be interchanged to the scrum, so he's had to come back in.
Let's go down to the sideline. Matthew.
Brabs, just further problems for the Bulldogs. We're starting to see more of Sean Berrigan get out of dummy half and create. He's starting to be more of a moving dummy half. To me, that signals that the Bulldogs are losing control of the ruck. But unfortunately, like Gus said, at the moment, Lockyer and Perry are finessing the ball sideways. They've got to play straight.
Now, what?
So Matt Utai in a real battle there. I didn't know whether he's trying to pass the ball or appealing to the referee to let him play the ball. It is Williams who plays it now, 30 away from his own line, and Hughes tries to follow the man who played the ball up the middle. He's hit there by Casey Maguire, who's on in 17. Here's O'Mealy.
He tried to play hide and seek there and got absolutely snotted.
Sherwin. Sherwin's kick into a nice position, down into the corner for Hodges to come off his line. This is where he set up the try for Berrigan from. The identical position. Comes back to Emilio, and Hughes is there with El Masri. Good run by Hodges. He got it back 21 metres from the pickup. Carmichael Hunter's with the ball now. He runs at Nate Miles, looking for a tired forward. And Mason takes rest time. Maguire goes to Sivanasiva. He runs it at O'Mealy, and O'Mealy makes the tackle with the help of Asitasi. Maguire a dummy half now, and it's gone to Hannett, who shows it and gives it, and Lockyer shows it, gives it, Parker gives it, it's out to Tate, and Tate goes flying down the right side. Now Darius Boyd, the 19-year-old, he scores Brisbane's third try in the second half. 22-20. The young man who has scored Brisbane's third try in the second half, Darius Boyd.
New leaders, and Ben Hannett has had some wonderful touches in his short time on the field tonight. Casey Maguire to Hannett, who attracted a couple in with his little swivel, and then Brent Tate takes on Luke Patton, gets the ball back inside to Darius Boyd, improves the position. They trailed by plenty, they now lead by a couple and have everything going their way.
He's a real flyer, isn't he, Gus?
Oh, he's a good player. They got speed out wide, and I'll show you after this kick the difference of why they scored there and why they've failed with their long passing earlier. Corey Parker with an opportunity to put them four in front. He's kicked two belters from the sideline.
So Parker 20 metres in from touch. He misses it.
It's always the way. Now look at this. Instead of the long passes from dummy half, halfback, 5'8" centre, this is short passing. Dummy half goes out and brings them up. Short pass to Hannon. Short pass to Lockyer. Lockyer runs to a hole. Short pass on the outside. He'll run to another hole. Short pass on the outside. That's the way to bring the Bulldogs in. The long passes across the field don't do anything to the Bulldogs' defence. The short passes will create the edges.
So here's Ben Hannon returning the kickoff. He played a major part in setting up that try. Brad Thorne has tackled 25 metres out from his own line. 22-20, Brisbane over the Bulldogs. Berrigan, a two-try hero. Keep in mind they had a try disallowed as well, Brisbane. Tate is with the ball 40 metres out from his own line. Stephen Folkes now becoming just a little bit clammy, I would imagine. It was very comfortable at half-time. They were leading 20 points to 6. And Brisbane have come back to lead 22-20 now. Locke is kicked down the ground, middle of the ground. Patton on the run, running towards Utai and running at Darius Boyd. Boyd put down inside, or should I say puts him down inside the 20. Now that'll be Roberts inside 30, tackled by Brent Tate. Rennie Matua now goes galloping away from dummy half. And Canterbury making some easy meters by simply taking it up the middle and playing simple football. Here's Andrew Ryan with the ball. Just on his own side of halfway, the captain back for Sherwin. He just lobs it up there for Nate Miles, and Miles is tackled a couple of meters into Brisbane's area. Patton goes away for the kick from Roberts. It's a stabbing kick that should set up. It does for Boyd. He comes off his line and runs away from any support, or should I say the support decided that he was on his own. Some do your best, son. Played by Boyd back to Hodges, and Hodges, he knows there's yards and lots of them to be made by taking it up the middle with forwards getting tireder by the moment. Maguire goes right, picks up Brad Thorne, and he tries to stampede over the top of them, almost does. Three of them stop him eventually. Play by Thorne on the 40-metre line, his own into the ground. Sivanasiva, the big fella's on report It looked a little bit, how's your father? And he'll have some questions to answer, I guess, as Berrigan goes back for Stagg. And Stagg, who's done a tremendous job for his coach, playing out in the centres. He just really is a tackling machine. He's certainly almost like a fish out of water, but he's got the job done. Here's Patton marking and bringing it back.
What Stagg does so well, Ray, is covers for Sean Berrigan. When they've got the defence, he moves into the middle of the ruck and plays as a forward. As Emilio goes centre field. All about possession now for the next 25 minutes.
El Masri for Sherwin. Sherwin to Ryan. Ryan decides to go himself. Had players on his outside with room to move. Here's O'Mealy.
15 minutes. That's how quick it's going.
Here's Utai with a run over the top of Darius Boyd. Tackled by Brent Tate there. 11 metres, 12 metres, 15 metres into Brisbane territory. Sherwin back for Williams, and Williams takes them on. Bumps away, gets it on. Matua's with it. Brad Thorne says, come here. I'm a bear and I want to give you a hug, and he takes him to ground. It comes from Hughes and goes out to Roberts again. And Roberts puts up a towering kick, and going in to take it, Carmichael Hunt. He finds a little bit of space and is tackled 20 metres out from his own line.
That's why he was named the Australian fullback early this season. That is a great take. It's the kind of kick you almost want to allow the opposition to catch and claim them straight away. But he took on the responsibility and he diffused a very dangerous situation.
Ben Hannant is with the ball. 31 metres away. This is the take. This is the take. He didn't care about the defenders. He didn't care about his personal safety. He just left those eyes fixed on the ball.
Webke's back, Ray. Webke's back into the action.
Here's Lockyer with a step off his right foot. He goes through. He breaks them open. 30 to go. Goes out to Carroll. Carroll, he'll get it back to Lockyer. Lockyer goes in. That's 14 tries. 14 tries against Canterbury. Darren Lockyer has scored more against Canterbury than any other club.
What a player, Darren Lockyer. When you're in trouble, you look for the man in the 6 jersey. And more often than not, he'll play a key role in getting you out. He's just put a simple stepping play on one defender here, coming up off the right foot, straightens up, gets rid of Andrew Ryan. I think he stepped inside Nate Miles, a Queensland teammate. Tony Carroll juggled, did well to hang on to it, and also to keep his arm free, as we saw Brent Tate do in the previous try for Darius Boyd. This time Carroll has done it for the man with the football in his hands here, making the break.
Well, full marks to Wayne Bennett. I said at Holden half-time, the Broncos were still in this if the coach could just admit that what they were doing was wrong and revert to short passes and coming back up the middle of the field. Well, the second half, that's exactly what they've done. They've attacked around the play the ball area, more dummy half running, more turning it inside. Lockyer's taking the line on, Berrigan's taking the line on. They're hitting holes on the edges of the ruck with short passes instead of the long passes, and they have run the Bulldogs into submission.
And in slower motion there, that catch from Tony Carroll was even more impressive. At speed, right out in front of him, Darren Lockyer. The cut over the eye, Ivan Hinjack, assistant coach from Brisbane, coming in. And Corey Parker hated his last attempt. His first two were remarkable from the sideline. And this is to put his side more than a converted try in front. It is a huge kick in the context of this game.
Lockyer scoring the try. Carroll, 2 grand finals under his belt, playing a major part as Corey Parker plays a major, but no, he doesn't. He misses it. So that's 2 from the same divot, really. And Parker has gone miss. Ben Aiken sideline.
When the Broncos hold the football, they have a great ability to build pressure. When they do start to build pressure, this guy on screen here, Darren Lockyer, gets the chance to weave his magic with a short kick off.
Canterbury coming up with it with Sherwin. Brilliant play. Williams, a quick pickup. They're trailing by the 6-point margin, 26-20. One scoreboard had 28-20 up. He gave Parker the kick at goal. That scoreboard attended at the other end. 12 out. It's come away with Emilio. Emilio 3 metres from the Brisbane line to play it to El Masri. El Masri pumps it away to the left. It goes out to O'Mealy. O'Mealy gets it on. It's out to Nate Miles. He's hit there by Carroll and put away. 12 metres from the line, from the centre of the ground. Hughes goes away to Roberts to pass to Matua. And Matua is a few metres from the line on 5. Canterbury. Have they got some chance out wide? There's a ball popped down, goes loose, picked up by Canterbury. Utai kicks it, but it's gone backwards. Taken by Patton. Patton's going to pass it. He does that. Sherwin kicks it. It comes off Casey Maguire. Cleaned up by Canterbury. Did he plant the ball, Maguire? It is with Canterbury, and they're tackled on the 40. That is turnover.
Oh, that's a huge call.
It isn't it? Isn't it?
That had to start the tackle count again.
Hold. Where you are.
Casey Maguire
Go.
went at the man kicking the football. The ref said it was not deliberately played at. After a clever restart from the Dogs. Took everybody surprised, most importantly the opposition.
Webke avoiding the flying shoulder of O'Mealy. Webke playing for his rugby league life here in the dying minutes.
Ray Darren Lockyer's kicked 3 field goals this year, and they are easier to kick 8 minutes out than 80 seconds out.
Maguire, short ball for Thorne. Thorne thinking about a round the corner pass for Parker. Played back Berrigan. Berrigan goes behind Hunt. It goes on to Lockyer. He shuffles and stammers. Gets it back to Tony Carroll. Carroll's 15 out in the middle of the ground.
Good boy, Darren Lockyer. He resisted the long pass there. Here he is.
Lockyer steps again. Goes wide with the pass. Out to Brent Tate. And Tate goes for the line. Bounces over. Again, they'll go to the video. But Tate looks to have scored. Did he promote it? Or was there momentum there?
Well, Lockyer was going for the one, but when the opposition raced up, that forced his hand, he headed back. Tate in the tackle of Luke Patton.
That's a try.
That's got to be momentum.
That's a try. His whole body's just about ended up in the in goal. He couldn't have kept it outside the in goal if he wanted to. Brilliant work, Darren Lockyer.
I don't even think Luke Patton's holding him when he bounces anyway.
Nah, it's a try. And the Broncos have run the Bulldogs off their feet. They regrouped at the break. They never gave up. They changed direction. And now that man, Darren Lockyer, has inspired one of the great second-half comebacks we've ever seen in finals football. Thought about the 1 point, changed the point of attack. Now he finds Brent Tate, and Brent Tate says, easy, I've got to catch this one. I put a few down. Now he straightens up. He's a powerful runner, this man. Plenty of determination, and that's a fair try. He eases his way into the end goal, and the Broncos are going to the grand final.
Matthew Johns will come to you in just a moment. In fact, we'll go to you now, Matt. He's taking his time placing the ball.
Yeah, he's taking his time. So Darren Lockyer, I mean, it's been all him in the second half. I wonder why Lockyer sometimes finesses the ball sideways with his speed and his footwork when he attacks front rowers and back rowers. If you're a back row and a front row, it'll just be an absolute nightmare. He's a special player.
He's been the best tonight, Darren Lockyer. But what about the performance of Tony Carroll? Gee, he's been good tonight as well. Defensively, even the first half when things weren't going that well, he was hitting and hitting, and that has taken its toll. Corey Parker now turned 10 into 12. Don't really favour him that side of the field, Ray.
No, you're absolutely right. And the easiest kicks that he's had are the ones that he's missed. This one is 10 in from touch.
Well, he's pushed them both to the left of the post. You'd think that he'd compensate for that.
30 to 20. 32 to 20. Brisbane in an amazing comeback.
When Bulldogs coach Steve Folkes, I think would love to have his half-time over again. I don't know what's gone on in the Bulldogs room, but I think he would love to have it all over again. It's very hard having a big lead at half-time in a finals match because there's a few ways you can play it. If you're behind on the scoreboard, you've only got one job: get yourself back into the game. The team in front, well, they just didn't come out of the blocks hard enough and invited the Broncos back into it.
Well, this, for the record, if they win, and there are still 7 minutes remaining, the difference is 12 points, will be the third biggest comeback in finals history if the scoreboard stays the way it is. Third biggest comeback ever. Newcastle Parramatta 97, down 18-0, won 28-20. The Knights, Dogs Parramatta 98. Down 18-2. Will you ever forget it, Brian Smith? down 18-2, Canterbury 32-20. And so Brisbane have come from 20-6 down at the break. They've only come from behind twice this year to win. 32-20. They've added 26 points. 26 points unanswered. Williams to the 40-metre line. With 6 minutes of the game to go, I can imagine in Brisbane and in Queensland, the huge supporter group that had no access to this game, probably other than television, you would be absolutely dancing in the streets. Absolutely having a ball now after being, I would imagine, forlorn and downcast at the break. Hodges, he probably started it, didn't he, with that 100-metre try completed by Berrigan. Here is Tate, 35 metres out from his line. Carmichael Hunt takes it up under one arm, takes the tackle. They just don't want to give Canterbury the ball until they want to give them the ball. Staggers with it now. Just simple plays, dummy half runs. One player off the ruck perhaps. Hannant with the ball, a struggling run. He's come ahead, Ben Hannant. He was a rooster as Berrigan just winds the clock down and rolls it over the sideline on the eastern side.
Oh, that's a lovely feeling. 5 minutes left on the clock. You're 12 points in front. You know you've got the game won. You roll it over the sideline. You look at each other and say, how good is this, boys? We're going to the big one. We're going to the grand final. The Bulldogs are going on holidays. We survive another week. Shane Webke will end his illustrious career playing in the big show. It's all good for the Brisbane team.
Brisbane, of course, have been to the grand final on 5 occasions for a perfect record. Shane Webke, one of the great front row forwards of all time. It doesn't matter who you want to compare him with, and I know front row football is vastly different these days, but the great Shane Webke, he's going to see the grand final, probably through the courtesy of a bloke called Darren Lockyer. 40 metres out from the Brisbane line. This has been an unbelievable second half, not just by Brisbane, but particularly for Lockyer. And don't forget what Berrigan's been doing, and he's been doing it all night. That is Matua, who will play the ball. 30 out from the Brisbane line. Back for El Masri, and Hassan puts the kick up. 8 points in the game tonight for El Masri. He'll fall short of the 300. Here is Carmichael Hunt dancing, bunny hopping through, almost a la Benji Marshall. Now to way for Hodges, comes to Perry, passes to Hunt, and Hunt basically stands there and says, come and get me. Let's take up some time, come and get me. And O'Mealy puts him down. Carmichael plays the ball very, very slowly. And now Brent Tate is through. Brent Tate steps and then is taken by the final tackle, that of Mason, after Luke Patton had put a punctuation mark in his intentions. 32-20 with just over 3 minutes to go in the game. And Petro Sivanasiva, who's on report, let's not forget that. There's no guarantee the big fella will be there on grand final night as Parker prepares to play the ball. It goes back for Darren. He takes the shot at goal. He had plenty of time to prepare for it, and it's a goal for Lockyer. Another point to the total, expanding the lead to 13 points, 33-20. And those hardy Brisbane supporters, they are very, very comfortable now. A mile of time for Lockyer, former Golden Boot winner. And he pilots it over for yet another drop goal. 33-20 with 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first grand final qualifier. Tomorrow night you'll see Melbourne take on St George Illawarra. Will it be an interstate grand final, an all-interstate grand final? Andrew Voss, sideline.
And most importantly right now, you look across the Broncos, the 13 they got on the field, the bench they've got right now, they're going to get through tonight all fit and healthy going into the grand final. The only concern, it's worth noting, we'll show it again after full time, the 57th minute, that high tackle, Sivanasiva on Sonny Bill on report.
Carmichael Hunt will play the ball. 35 away from his own line. Sivanasiva with a good run for a man as big as him this late in the game. And down the ground goes Parker. Parker comes to Patton, throws him away, runs away from Carlaw, gets the ball to David Stagg. Stagg has got a couple to beat, and diving at him is Asatasi. Played 8 metres out. Berrigan from dummy half. Hunt, quick hands. Hodges, they'll score again. Parker's over. Another Brisbane try. 37 plays 20 with a kick to come. They've now played them 3 times this year, and 3 times they have given them a hiding of gigantic proportions. Tonight, they've reserved the hiding for the last 40 minutes. 55 points to 6. The aggregate total of points in their first 2 encounters. Now they lead by 17 points in their final encounter for the year. The Broncos heading for another grand final. Maguire, simple stuff. Sivanasiva, brilliant. Parker, supportive. And then I thought they'd bombed it. He throws Patton away, and Parker, vastly underrated, goes away to David Stagg, and they will fall short here by a couple of metres before they simply catch pass, outnumber them down the right side for Canterbury, and Corey Parker scores. They've completed 18 sets from 19 in the second half, the Broncos. They completed 89% last weekend. They've completed 18 from 19 tonight. Parker scores. Brisbane 7 tries. 7 tries. Is it any wonder they are so jubilant? And they know they're going to grand final. Number 6, 92, 93, 98, the heads go down. 97, 2000, and now 2006. And why wouldn't you be congratulating Shane Webke, the Canterbury doctor, Hugh Hazard, in fact, doing that. And as I pointed out earlier, the great man, one of the great front rowers, will see another grand final by way of his exit from the game. Parker from the sideline. The siren has sounded in the background. To the best of my knowledge, the clock says there is no more time, and Paul Simpkins indicates that is the end of it. It's a 37 points resounding victory to the Broncos over the Bulldogs.